Welcome, beautiful, beloved souls. I'm trying to do a third commentary because tomorrow I won't be available, going back to the dentist. And I'm just going to show you this like I will do for every video. My name is Gemstone, and I'm a psychic medium, and I am an author. And this channel, you will find I mainly do commentaries, and I don't fit a particular niche. I look at anything and everything to do with life and death through a lens, hence the name of the channel. Now, as a psychic medium, I can both remote view and I can channel. Remote viewing is completely different to channeling. Think of remote viewing as pieces of a puzzle, where channeling is a complete puzzle. If you would like to learn how to channel or how to remote view, I am providing you the information now. So I'll leave it up for a few seconds more. They're PDF documents, and if you want to learn both, you can do so for $3. So there's my PayPal address, and there's my email address. And I would ask at the end of the commentary that you please leave a comment, because I really like comments. Comments make me feel like the video has been heard. All right. As you know, I have done a few videos on starseeds, RH negative blood, and people claiming to be special. So this next commentary felt like another natural progression. So it's titled From Indigo Children to Starseeds: How 90s Parents Shaped Modern Spiritual Identity. What if one of the biggest spiritual movements online today didn't begin with aliens, psychic downloads, or cosmic awakenings, but with parenting trends from the 1990s? Because long before starseeds flooded social media, there were the Indigo children. The kids described as unusually sensitive, emotionally intense, creative, rebellious, spiritually gifted. And for many parents, these children weren't simply difficult, misunderstood, or neurodivergent. They were believed to be different by design, chosen, advanced, sent here with a mission. And now, decades later, many of those children have grown into adults deeply immersed in spiritual identity systems. So, in this commentary video, we're asking a difficult question. Did a generation of parents unintentionally shape modern starseed culture by teaching children they were cosmically special? The birth of the Indigo child. The Indigo child concept exploded during the late 1990s and early 2000s. So my grandchildren. There were books, seminars, documentaries, and spiritual teachers, all describing a new generation of children arriving on Earth with elevated consciousness. The traits were broad enough to fit many kids: emotional sensitivity, strong willpower, difficulty fitting into systems, intense imagination, resistance to authority, feelings of being misunderstood. And honestly, many children do experience those things. I can remember through the 70s experiencing those things. And these children, especially sensitive, creative, or neurodivergent children. But the interpretation changed everything. Instead of asking, what support does this child need? Some parents began asking, what cosmic role were they born to fulfill? The 90s cultural atmosphere. To understand why this happened, we have to understand the era. Sorry, frog in the throat. The 1990s were filled with New Age spirituality, rising distrust of institutions, fascination with psychic phenomena, alien narratives, self-esteem focused parenting, apocalyptic millennium fears. At the same time, many parents were searching for meaning in a rapidly changing world. And then along came a theory telling them, your child isn't struggling. Your child is evolving beyond humanity's old systems. That's an incredible, comforting narrative, especially for parents facing behavioral, emotional, or educational difficulties. Why parents believed it. Now, let's be fair. Most parents weren't trying to manipulate their children. They were trying to protect them. If a child felt isolated, anxious, intense, or different, the Indigo framework transformed that pain into purpose. A difficult child became gifted. A lonely child became spiritually advanced. A child struggling socially became too evolved for the current world. And emotionally, that can feel far kinder than labeling a child problematic. The seduction of specialness. But there's another layer too. Parents often project dreams onto children, and the Indigo movement offered something deeply seductive. The idea that your child wasn't ordinary. They were part of humanity's next evolution. That creates emotional meaning for the parent as well. Because if your child is extraordinary, then your role as the parent becomes spiritually significant too. The family narrative becomes mythic. From Indigo to Starseed. Now fast forward. Those Indigo children grew up and the language evolved. Indigo became Starseed, Lightworker, Crystal Child, Galactic Soul, Multi-dimensional Being. The core structure remained remarkably similar. You feel disconnected because you are fundamentally different from most humans. That message is psychologically powerful, especially for adults struggling with isolation, trauma, anxiety, identity confusion, loneliness, alienation from society. The cosmic narrative gives emotional discomfort a transcendent explanation. The internet supercharged it. In the 90s, these ideas spread through books and seminars. Today, algorithms amplify them globally within hours. A lonely teenager watches one video about feeling different and suddenly receives endless content explaining why they don't belong on Earth, why crowds exhaust them, why they're spiritually advanced, why they feel misunderstood. The algorithm becomes a cosmic mirror maze. And once identity forms around these ideas, confirmation bias takes over. Every emotional experience becomes evidence. Were parents responsible? This is the difficult part. Are parents responsible for encouraging these beliefs? Sometimes, yes, but usually unintentionally. Because many parents genuinely believed they were empowering their children. However, there's a risk when children repeatedly hear, "You are different from everyone else," especially if that difference becomes tied to superiority, destiny, or cosmic importance, because children build identity from the stories adults give them. The psychological cost of cosmic identity. At first, being special feels protective, but later, it can create pressure. If you believe you're destined for extraordinary spiritual presence, ordinary life can begin feeling unbearable. Jobs feel meaningless. Relationships feel disappointing. Reality itself feels too small. Some people become trapped between grand identity and normal human vulnerability. What traits convince parents? So, what actually convinced parents their children were indigo? Usually traits that already existed naturally. Sensitivity. Children deeply affected by emotion or environment. Strong imagination. Kids with vivid inner worlds or creativity. Authority resistance. Questioning systems, rules, or rigid structures. Social difficulty. Feeling different or disconnected from peers. Intense focus on emotion. Traits now often associated with neurodivergence or emotional sensitivity. The problem wasn't noticing these traits. The problem was assigning them cosmic certainty. Spiritual meaning versus psychological reality. Now, this is important. Just because something has psychological explanations doesn't mean it doesn't mean it lacks meaning. People often use spiritual language to describe genuine emotional experiences. The danger comes when metaphor hardens into identity. When "I feel different" becomes "I am literally more evolved than others." That shift can quietly disconnect people from grounded growth. The fragmented modern self. Modern life leaves many people spiritually hungry, disconnected from community, disconnected from purpose, disconnected from meaning. So, identities like starseed culture often function as emotional architecture. They answer painful questions. Why do I feel alone? Why don't I fit in? Why does life feel emotionally strange? And honestly, those are profound human questions. A more grounded interpretation. What if the real truth is simpler? Sensitive children exist. Creative children exist. Children who feel out of sync with society exist. But maybe they don't need cosmic labels to justify their humanity. Maybe sensitivity is enough. Maybe intuition is enough. Maybe being emotionally different does not require extraterrestrial ancestry. The risk of identity entrapment. Once someone deeply identifies as a starseed or cosmic being, normal human struggles can become difficult to face honestly because every problem risks being spiritualized. Loneliness becomes ascension. Anxiety becomes energetic overload. Social disconnection becomes proof of higher consciousness. Sometimes that interpretation comforts. Other times it prevents grounded healing. The deeper need beneath it all. At the center of this entire phenomenon is something deeply human. The desire to feel meaningful, seen, different for a reason. And perhaps the tragedy isn't that people search for cosmic identity, but that ordinary humanity often feels emotionally insufficient. Closing reflection. So, did 90s parents help shape today's starseed culture? In many ways, yes. Not through malice, but through love, projection, fear, hope, and the universal desire to believe our children are extraordinary. And maybe they are, just not in the way the mythology claims. Because perhaps the most extraordinary thing about a sensitive child is not that they came from another galaxy, but that they survived this world while feeling everything so deeply. You do not need to be cosmic royalty to matter. You do not need alien ancestry to be sensitive, intuitive, or different. And maybe real growth begins when we stop asking whether we were sent here from the stars and start learning how to live fully, honestly, and compassionately right here on Earth. So, let me know in the comments below, have you heard of the Indigo children Were you yourself born in the 1990s? Did your parents, or the 2000s, did your parents label you as an indigo child or a starseed? And once again, I'll just put this up very quickly. And I ask, if you do drop a comment below, please do so with respect. If only the world had more respect and more kindness, what a better place it would be. So yeah, please be kind to each other. Smile at a stranger. You might just save someone else's life. And most of all, take care of yourselves, because you may not be starseeds, you may not have royal DNA, but you are precious. You are special. Every human being is, and your life does matter. Thanks again for watching. Love, light, and blessings. See you on the weekend. Bye.